Good afternoon. Welcome to the QCIS channel, where you get your daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and math. My name is Leon Jones, and during this segment, I'm going to teach you all how to read what we call grade stakes. Now, I have an example of a grade stake right here, and on this grade stake, I don't know whether you see this. Where my finger is, there's a 3 and there's an O/S. That's an offset. Now generally, when you have an offset, and I count it out, my pace, it means 3 foot from where? 3 foot BOC, right where my finger is, stands for back of curve. So at my pace, there's 1, 2, that's my second step, and 3. Okay, it means it's 3 feet from the back of the curve. Right here, where my finger is the back curve. Now, on this grade stake as well, you'll see some other information. And usually surveyors put this out. Okay, there's a number right here. If I can get this ribbon to stop moving here. It's 1545 plus 45. That's known as a station. And then you have another number right here. And this other number is, where my finger is, it's 855.96. EP stands for edge of pavement. And then you have an F. This is a grade stake. F plus 0.56. What that means is you are going to have a half a foot of fill. Now over here on this grade stake, this is a different one, but the information is the same. You have 2% offset walk. They're going to put a sidewalk here, and then what you have here is 8.56. That's the elevation, 0.49, and this is EW, edge of walk. Now, you see a C1 here, where my finger is, C1, and you see a upside down V, that means cut. Now, if the V were upside down, you'd have a fill and you'd have an F minus 1, which means 1 foot of fill. If it's a V in this direction, regular V, that means cut. And basically, when it comes to stationing, everything is put 10 feet away. Now, this is very important because all these stations are located on the plans. Now, something else that I'm going to throw into this video, besides grade stakes, it's barrels, safety barrels. These are channelizing devices that they're used to basically control traffic. Now, going along, you see cars coming up here. As I walk down the road, you see a lot of barrels out here. Well, sometimes they get knocked down, sometimes they get dented, but it is my job as an inspector to make sure that all these barrels meet the specifications. They got to be stenciled. Barrels are going to be orange and white. Now again, I'm on the west side of the city, and there are going to be some other items that you need to know about, because part of civil engineering is surveying. Now, what you have here, it's a plus, and then you have the word crown. It's going to be a crown over here, and then you have a C minus 0.02. That means it's going to be a cut. This right here, this nail, that's a survey point where you set up the gun, shoot points. It's a control point. Also, you have here, it's a crown, that's plus, and this is an F. F stands for fill, C stands for cut. I'll show you some more grade stakes, because this is the main topic of the video. Again, right here, so you'll know, you have a 2% walk. 2% walk as I go down. Well, it's 2 foot offset of walk, not a percent. It's an offset. It looks like a percent the way they wrote it. At 88, there's going to be an 88 ramp here. EW stands for edge of walk. Okay, right here, EW, edge of walk, where my finger is. Here, as I review it, a lot of mud out here. It's been raining. What I'm looking for is a marker with a station on it so you can see it. And surveyors put different types of flagging. It's blue, it's orange, it's pink. Here you go. So right here, you have R/W, which stands for right of way. Here's a station, 1549 plus 98.69. Then you have, now this all comes from the baseline, which is the center, because you're going to have this right of way is 41.37 feet left, and it's left of that center line that is right here. When they say crown, this is the center line, and that's going to be a cut. And they take a tape, or they utilize a prism, and they shoot that distance. That's where that grade stake was placed. But again, when it comes to reading grade stakes, it's very important. Your stations tell you your locations. Your offsite, your offset tells you how many feet from a specific area, like back of curve, edge of pavement, crown. And you have to have a crown in the road, because your crowns help water runoff. Basically, your crowns are about 2%. Like here's another one right here. This is a 3 foot offset. If I can put my finger there. 88 ramp. Then you have your fills, your back of curves. And then you have other stakes. You have to look at all your information. Like 22.42. Now this is from the radius point. I'm going to show you what a radius looks like. When you have an approach, and this is all part of grade stakes. In surveying, here's what I'm going to tell you. Your straightaway right here, where my foot is standing, that's called a PC. That's your point of curvature. That's your start. Now I'm going in right here where it's rounded. This is your radius. The whole radius is a semicircle. And then you end it right here, your point of curvature. Now, when I go from point of curvature to point of curvature, as I'm walking right now, this is known as your PT. It's your point of tangency. And a tangent is where you have 2 pointed curvatures that intersect. Very important when you're setting points, because you don't want your points to be set in the wrong place. Now, here is another grade stake. And I can give you a better one here. Right here we have your 3. O/S is offset. BOC stands for back of curve. And you have your station, 1544 plus 95. Over here, this is your elevation. These elevations are above sea level too. So you have 856.26 EP. EP stands for edge of pavement. Then you have a F. F stands for fill. Plus, fill is always plus, cut is always minus. So you have 0.88. That means you're basically going to have between 10 and 11 inches of fill. When we talk about cut, that means they take soil from your existing contour, and when they have fill, they add soil to your existing contour. Contours are lines that are put on your map to display elevations. Sometimes they're 10 feet, sometimes they're 2 feet. Now, on a contour map, if your contours are close together, that means there's steepness. If they're far apart, that means it's not as steep. Now again, when it comes to any type of grading out here, you have to go off these stakes. It tells you where you are. Now, of course, all these stakes that we're passing, they're all going to have C at the bottom. They're all going to have this. They're all going to have this C, and they're going to have this V. That's because they're taking information. They're cutting. Going out here in the street. Okay. I am basically showing you something else. This right here is your, again, this is your crown. Might say it backwards, but it's your crown. And then you have your plus 0.08, 800ths. 800ths is about an inch of fill. And we go off that center line or baseline to get the offsets for these points. Now, terms that you hear when it comes to surveying. All right, where my foot is, between the curb and the pavement, we call that EP, edge of pavement. Right here, where my foot is, that's called TOC, top of curve. My foot is against the curve. It's the BOC, back of curve. Now, where my foot is on the front of curve, we don't call it front of curve, we call it face of curve. Now, this whole curve section, where you see my foot, that's called a rivet. And the portion that I'm walking through, that's called your gutter. That's why you hear the term curb and gutter. This is for drainage. And you also have some modified versions of curb that have no gutter. And again, talking about traffic control, you see those orange barrels out there. Construction, everything is orange. And everything is set up by the MUTCD. That's the Manual for Uniform Traffic Control Devices, MUTCD. The last one that was put out was around 2009. Now, besides these barrels, I'm going to show you some cones. Here's something else that is used out here. Now, most of these cones are orange. These are yellow, and they have reflective tape on them, as I checked them. And these barrels also have reflective tape on them. Now something else to show you. It's already been knocked down here, but I'm gonna show you what it looks like. This right here, as I'll set it back up if I can. Okay, what you just saw me pick up might fall back down again because of this wind. This is a barricade. I'll lay it, keep it back up here. This is what a barricade looks like. Always got to check these every day. But again, I want you all to focus on the grade stakes as well, because they're very, very important. Grade stakes give you a lot of information. Again, just trying to show you some more. Now here's one here. Doesn't have the station, but it has your 3 foot of offset, back of curve BOC, 856.44 EP edge of pavement, C-0.06. That means cut. And again, to continue this review on grade stakes and other parts of infrastructure. So for everybody who's interested in construction trade, surveyors put all these stakes out. Looks like everything looks pretty good up there as I check everything. But these are pretty important pieces of information when you're on the site. Because when I get into documentation later on, you're going to see why. And of course, this is a DOT project here in Frankfort, Indiana. So my job as an inspector is to check everything. And some of the stakes get knocked down, some of them don't. But again, you have to know what type of information that is on these stakes so you can understand everything. Now, there's some materials. This is number 8 stone, and this is, of course, filter cloth. But overall, when it comes to any type of construction project, look for these stakes out here. Some of them have yellow flagging, blue flagging, pink flagging. These are grade stakes. And your grade stakes, for the most part, will tell you station, elevation, offset, where you are from the offset, walk, edge of pavement, back of curve, top of curve, face of curve, cuts, and fills. And I want to thank you all for viewing this video on grade stakes. If you like what I just presented, please comment, share, and of course subscribe. And if you're looking for some social content, you check out the 411 Talk Zone radio show on YouTube as well. Now, if you cannot find me on YouTube, you can check me out on Twitter. Now, I go one step further with the QCIS channel, since it is an educational channel. You can check that channel out on Twitter. And once again, thank you for viewing this video from the QCIS channel. And on this channel, you get a daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and math. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. I want you all to have a wonderful and gracious afternoon.